Hi there and welcome to Andy Robinson RC. Cheers for joining us on the channel today and checking out this episode. So, on today's episode, we're going to be talking a bit about mental health. In the UK, it is Mental Health Awareness Week, which is May the 13th to May the 19th. So, I thought I'd like to do a video on it. I have done a few in the past. I'm sure some of you have seen them. I might put the links for them in this description if you fancy checking previous ones out. So, I also earlier today, which is the day I'm recording this, I did post up on social media that I'd be bringing out a video for Mental Health Awareness Week, and including things that, you know, talk about hobby as well, and after all it is an RC channel, but you're talking things about the hobby, my own personal mental health, how that affects me and whatnot, and mental health in general. As I said on my little social media post, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or where you're from, or anything like that, your age. Mental health problems can affect anybody at any time. So it is always good to sort of try and keep on top of them, or speak to people if you need to. So I personally, the last 15 or so years, have been struggling with mental health now, and for me personally, it was all kicked off after my mum died. She passed away of ovarian cancer, so it was that sort of triggered it, mixed with sort of my own health problems as well. And now it's less about the fact that my mum passed away, and the health problems are still a factor, and there's other things that have sort of come to the surface that I've never really shaken off. So I said, in fact, this whole YouTube channel started in lockdown originally through COVID, and the idea was I wanted to give myself something to do originally. That's how it started, nothing serious. I wanted to give myself something to do to try and stop myself, well, going mad really. And that's what I did, and this is how the whole Andy Robinson RC YouTube channel even started. So it's about 4 years ago now. So yeah, a lot's changed since then. So I do apologise if the video seems to go off in tangents and wanders a bit. That's just the way I end up doing it, I'm afraid. So if that bugs you, I do apologise in advance. So what else can I say? Well, even if me just saying the things that I say, or the things that I say that happen to me, or the way I deal with things or process things, even if it helps one or two people that tune into the video and watch it, and they can relate to that, then that's a win, really. So if it helps in any way, me doing this video, then that is a win, as I say. So recently, as I say, my mental health hasn't been great, but and that is down to a few factors. First of all, one of them is single parents out there. I don't know how you do it. Even if you don't have mental health problems, or I don't know how you do it, because you all know by now, I think, that I've got pretty much a newborn baby. Say newborn, he's 9 months old now, but I have found that really hard work. A lot more difficult than when I had my daughter 11 years ago. But anyway, so that's been taking a toll on me. I've struggled with that, and I think some of that is down to health as well. I'm not as probably as quite as healthy as I was 11 years ago. I wasn't even brilliant then, but you know, I think that's you know not helped. I think the current medication I'm on for sort of depression and anxiety is called fluoxetine. I'm on quite a high dosage of that. I've tried all sorts of different ones over the years, and I think the doses that I'm on, it really doesn't help with sleep. So at any point in the day, I'll be nodding off. It's like having constant fatigue, so shattered, and I'll just be falling asleep. I'm trying to fight it all the time. So yeah, that's not helped. As I say, I've been on different medications. I've tried loads of different ones. Some of them better than others. I remember one. It was metazapine. Was it? I'm sure it was metazapine, and that really knocked me out. I couldn't even. I was like a zombie. I couldn't function at all on that. Couldn't function. I was almost brain dead. So I had to come off that one. And actually, the one I'm on, was one I had a few years back now. And what I don't like about a lot of the antidepressants, which is part of what they do, but they numb you quite a bit. They can numb you emotionally a little bit, and they can make you feel flat. Now, I think a lot of them are designed to keep you at a certain level, which it does do, but sometimes you just, I don't know, for me, sometimes you just don't feel human some days. So I often find that with the medication. Other things, so yeah, health's just rubbish. I mean, by no means, am I whinging about things. I don't want that to be the case about this video. I'm not whinging, I'm just going through things. Because I know there's always someone out there that is far worse off than yourself. So this is not a woe is me video at all. I just wanted to put this out, and hopefully I can relate to some people out there. But say yeah, health's not great, and it's been probably getting worse. So yeah, that puts a lot of added pressure on things, and I tell you, it's massively affected the. Or I feel like it's massively affected the YouTube channel. Now maybe you maybe haven't noticed, but for me it's like I've slowed down getting some videos out. Excuse me. I don't seem to. I mean, I've mentioned this before in other videos. I don't have the time or the energy, unfortunately, to sit and watch all the amount of videos and comment that I used to do. Because if I'm not doing my own bit of YouTubing, obviously I'm either looking after the kids or I'm tired out, exhausted somewhere, and then yeah. So my output has changed, I think, on videos. As I said, I'm not overly. I haven't been able to engage as much as I used to before. I do still try and do answer some comments and things, so I always feel really bad that I don't get around to answering everybody's comments. So I always apologise for that, because I know a lot of you spend the time commenting on the videos. So it's not unappreciated at all. I totally appreciate all the comments and everything that you guys and girls do. But it's just that how it's affected me, really. But maybe you've not noticed. I don't know. You tell me. Now, another thing with the whole mental health thing, I often use retail as a bit of therapy, and which in terms of RC is not fantastic, is it? Because it's an expensive hobby, or it can be. So besides having the YouTube channel, which of course I buy things, some I buy because I want, some I want to review, etc. You know, I buy for different reasons, but I do like to buy things. So yeah, that's landed me in trouble a few times. But you know, it gives me a bit of a buzz, really. And it might not say just be RC for other people. I know it's other stuff. But for me, it's like RC cars, or I'm gonna start yawning again. Ooh, like I did on my last video on the RC10 unboxing. You know, I was into it. Yeah, I'm not into it as much, but the Hot Wheels, I buy tons of Hot Wheels up. You know, things like that, and it give you a little buzz. Now, I generally like these things, but you know, it doesn't help sometimes. It can be counterproductive. So I'm sure some of you out there probably do a similar thing to me, but I try and get it to help me, and sometimes, for most of the times it works, but sometimes it can have an adverse effect, I suppose. The other thing as well is I run Blackpool on Fire Radio Control Car Club, so that takes a bit of time for me as well, which I love doing the club. I really like it. I'm glad I set it up, and you know, over the past year, so it's been getting, you know, quite busy for a Wednesday night, which is great. But again, you know, that you know, that takes a little bit of a toll as well at times, and some of that is down to the fact that I'm actually not a very sociable person. I used to be, well, years ago, but I'm not these days. I don't know. I find it difficult, to be honest. I mean, if someone comes up to me and we start talking about RC cars, or someone talks to me about Land Rovers or something like that, then it's less awkward. Because I go into like a geek mode, I suppose, and start talking about. But generally, I find it quite difficult talking to people. So the club, I don't think, well, there must be plenty of people at the club then, but I find it again a bit more therapeutic, like building a car, because one, I'm racing as well. Two, I'm organising and running the night, and although I do speak, I'm not actually having in-depth conversations with people, or you know, that sort of just talking to people, because it can be quite absorbing, the hobby. You know, especially if you've got to fix your car, get it ready for a race, or I've got to go and start the next race. So although I'm busy and I'm around people, at the same time, it feels like I can feel like I can be on my own as well. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike people, but I do find it often awkward. I never really feel like I fit. So, and that's not just within this hobby, it's been with other things that I do as well. But so that's difficult. And again, as well, quite a few people know this, I think. All my friends will be saying, a bugger to get hold of on the phone. Again, it's not just close friends, it'll be other people as well. I don't like, I find it overwhelming a lot of the time, especially, as I said, talking to people or speaking to someone on the phone. I sort of panic when the phone goes off. Now, there are some genuine instances when I'm too busy and I can't pick up the phone, but a lot of the time, it's the phone goes off. It's like, oh, I can't bring myself to speak on the phone. So sometimes I'll try and get away from it, or if I'm out and about, I might see someone that I know, and I'll sort of like go and hide, or you know, pretend I've not seen them, or I'll, you know, go a completely different way to avoid it, to avoid conversation. And it's just because I don't feel comfortable a lot of the time. And again, I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people out there. But as I say, this hobby, it does really help. I do like building the cars, tuning them, going racing, and a lot of the time it's amazing actually how much that's kept me going. Because, for example, it'll be like, while I've been struggling quite a lot recently with things, I often thought, I'm no I'm no stranger to like sort of things like suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, things like that. Wishing, you know, thinking people would be better off without me. You know, I just cause too much hassle for people, that sort of thing. Or I'm not very good, or whatever. Um, and I'll go, right, you know what, maybe I should just bugger off now. I'll go, and then I'll think, oh, I can't, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday in a couple of days' time. It's Wednesday tomorrow. It's race night. I need to run that in that race. And it sort of stops me. And it has stopped me quite a few times. So for that, I'm very grateful. And I hope it's the same for other people out there as well. Also, another thing I'm going to admit is I am more competitive than I like to let on. Yeah, I always think I'm not that competitive, but I am a bit more competitive than I realise at times. I do like to, not that I like to win everything, but I like to do well, and that's mainly because RC is one of the only things that I feel like I'm kind of good at. And I don't mean good as in national level driver or regional championship driver or even some really top club driver. I just feel it's something I'm kind of good at. So I like to do well. So I like to set myself targets and goals. Like, I'll be like, I always want to finish within the top 3 of whatever race I'm in. Set there my targets, set right, finish top 3, that's where you want to be. And they're just things like that, or if we'll be racing a series, it'll be like, again, my aim is to get into the top 3. And at the end of the season. So, I don't know, it sounds trivial, maybe. I don't know, for some people it's probably like, it's just toy cars, which it is definitely toy cars. But I do enjoy it. And I do get a little bit competitive at times, but probably, I don't know, maybe not that anyone would notice, I'm not sure, but if I admit it to myself, I am a little bit more competitive than I'd like to admit. But there you go. Yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm a trophy hunter or anything, because I'm not that good. I'm not good enough to be a trophy hunter. But I do like to set myself tests and steps and targets for when I go racing, wherever I go racing, if it's somewhere else or the local club that I run or whichever. So, but again, it's this hobby that keeps me going. So, and you think, well, why isn't it like things like family or your partner if you're married or whatnot? And that's a good question, isn't it? I find a lot of it quite difficult, to be honest. And in one sense, they're the things that really do matter. Family and the kids and stuff like that. So there's more pressure with that, I think, or it's a different type of pressure. But there's more pressure with it, and again, that I find it quite a struggle, and it does stress me out a lot of the time. So. With the RC stuff, again, it's a different type of pressure if you're competing, and this does keep me going because I can chill with it. Once I get a new Tamiya kit in for the channel or something, and I'll go off and I've psyched myself up the day before, and then I'll start building it the next day. But I have my methods, and I'll really get into it. And sometimes, well, just before my son was born, anyway, my wife would be out at work. My daughter was at school, so I put the music on relatively loud. I'd be in the kitchen building away, and I used to look forward to that. So other things that get me through is I haven't had a chance this time around as much as of yet, maybe later in the year, but I like to go out in my Land Rover, my old Land Rover, and go to some of the car shows. I don't think I'll do much of that this year just because of having the little one. Can't really take him in the old Land Rover. There's no belts and whatnot, but I'll try and make it to some stuff, I'm sure. But that's another way of me chilling out, getting out of the house and not being around the house and whatnot, changing scenery, I suppose. So yeah, so I'm hoping I've gone through a few things that I find a struggle, you know, and hopefully you can relate to them, and just a reminder to yourselves that you're not out there on your own, although it can seem like it. I know there's people that I can talk to if I want to, or there's people that are there for me, and I still find it difficult to go and say, hey, you know what, I need a bit of help. You know, I still find it really difficult now. I still find it really hard talking to my wife, you know, so, or my dad and whatnot, friends. Sometimes total strangers can be the easiest because you don't have any connection to them in the same way. Yeah, but yeah, but you know that this is I'm on about you out there, the viewers. You know there is a lot of help out there that you can access. One of them that I'll mention, hopefully I'm sure you'll know about it as well, is RCMHAP, the Radio Control Mental Health Appreciation group on Facebook. Check them out. Lots of people into the hobby, and they can share experiences, not just on RC, but the way they feel. So that's worth looking at. And then there's obviously the obvious ones like Mind, Samaritans, Crisis, and there's other ones out there as well. They are there if you need help, even if it is difficult. You know, they are. You are not on your own, even though it feels like you are. So I would definitely recommend accessing them if you need to. Yeah, I'm hoping at some point things will change, and I won't hopefully not feel as down as I do a lot of the time at the moment, and you know, I'll get back to that a little bit more how I was, you know, but we'll see. Hopefully I've just got to keep on going, and that's why I urge all of you out there who do suffer with mental health, enjoy your hobby, you know, enjoy your hobby, and keep on going, you know, and reach out if you need to. I've said before, I think, that if someone wants to send me a message, then I'll do my very best to reply to it. So I will admit sometimes I can be a little bit slow, but I will do my best to reply. You know, there's people out there that are willing to listen, you know, even if you don't even think you're making much sense, or that no one else has gone through the same thing that you have. There is always someone out there that has, can give you maybe a different perspective on stuff. So yeah, I feel like I'm babbling and rambling on a bit now, and I don't want to do that. So I'm hoping this video might have helped someone out there, especially if I've been sharing some of the experience that I've had recently, or going through when I'm doing stuff. Yeah, and on a more positive note, we are, as I say, we're nearly at the end of the video, and I just put a couple of cards on the table just so it wasn't completely sparse and empty. And as you can see, we went for the Hot Shot 2, and then if you notice here, I've got this rather awesome looking and very scale RC 4-wheel drive Jalande Defender 90, and it's the autobiography edition, and doesn't it look awesome? I mean, I am biased because I like Land Rovers, but I think it looks so scale. It looks fantastic. Now, I've always fancied one of the Boom Racing rigs, the 109, BR109, and they do an 88 as well for the Land Rover, and I really do want one of them, but they're so expensive. I basically can't afford them. So anyway, I came across this with massive thanks to Inside Line Models. I didn't even know they had it in, to be honest. I'd gone in to pick up my Team Associated 40th anniversary edition, and then while I was waiting and browsing around, I saw this and thought, oh, they've got one of those, and I asked Paul if I could have a look at it. He let me have a look, and I thought, I can't leave that in the shop. That's going to have to come home with me. And here it is. Now, I probably will do a video on it at some point, but to be honest, I didn't actually buy it to create content, really. But I will do something with it, I'm sure. But I bought it because I'm a big Land Rover fan. And I've always wanted a Land Rover, an RC Land Rover that's really highly detailed and scale. And the Jolande 2 Defender 90 is. So I'm really pleased with that. The only thing that could make it better for me is if it had been one of the series vehicles. But you can't have it all, can you? So yeah, very pleased with that. I'm sure I'll have that on the channel again at some point. We'll get some footage of it doing something. But yeah, so I just thought I'd plonk it on the table so you can see it. So massive thanks to Inside Line Models for having that in stock when I went in. Right, I'm going to go now anyway. I feel like I've said probably as much as I can at the minute. If you've ever got any questions or you want to ask me something, then you can please feel free to, you can private message me and I'll reply, or you can leave me a comment and I'll do my best to get back in touch with you. So thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. Look after yourselves and take care, and stay positive, and keep working on your mental health as well, and hopefully we'll see you all soon on the next video. So take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.